Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another DLC. I am your host today, Joey Fitz. Today, we are diving headfirst into the tentacle ridden madness that is Cthulhu Keeper, an upcoming RTS dungeon builder which throws you headfirst into the role of a cultist dungeon overlord and says, let's take this pit of insanity and make it beautiful. Before we dive in, I'd like to send a huge thanks to Game.Press and the Twisted Minds at Kuosema for their review copy of the game. You guys really know your eldritch horror. From the second that you boot up Cthulhu Keeper, it has loads of really good atmosphere. We're talking inky black voids, loads of ambient sounds and music to make your skin crawl in a really good way. The aesthetic is a lot like Dungeon Keeper meets Darkest Dungeon with a touch of cosmic horror, and despite these genres being a bit mixed, somehow it really works. The UI is sharp, readable, and drenched in Lovecraftian flair. The whole thing screams sinister charm without becoming unreadable. So first things first, in this game you are not the hero. You're not even the villain. You're a cult leader, constructing a labyrinth dungeon to summon and eventually awaken the Great Old Ones. You'll be managing resources, cultist morale, sacrificial rituals, and monster spawns, all in real time. So here's the gameplay loop. You dig, you build, you expand. You carve out the dungeon in classic dungeon builder style and make sure every room has a purpose. There are shrines, ritual chambers, monster pits, and sanity draining libraries. You then have to recruit cultists, and these aren't your average peasants. They come with their own quirks, like obsessed with bloodletting or afraid of candles, and it really affects the gameplay, and it makes the game quite funny. You have to summon monsters, tentacle beasts, lurking horrors, gibbering things from beyond the veil, position them in your lair to defend against the intruders. Then we come on to the intruders. Local villagers, rival cults, nosy investigators will all come knocking, and it's up to you and your dungeon design and monsters to keep them out and keep your dungeon safe. And finally, you keep the madness flowing. You're not managing gold, you're managing dread, sanity, and faith, the emotional fuel and the cult of your dungeon. It's RTS meets mood management. The deeper into the madness you go, the more powerful your rituals, but then the more unpredictable your cultists become. Midway through my playthrough, I had one of my cultists snap and start praying to the wrong god. He summoned a baby great one, and it ate all of my treasury. Even in the demo, there's a ton of systems working in the background. Room synergies matter. Place torch chambers near Faith Altar, and that'll double your zealotry bonus. Cultist pathfinding isn't dumb AI, they react to fear zones and lighting. Some will even refuse to enter rooms if they're too scared to do so. There are loads of traps, and they are brutal. Whispers from the Void is a corridor trap that lures intruders into a permanent panic state. It's great. And if you're the kind of player who micromanages moods, shifts tiles obsessively, and loves the feeling of slowly corrupting a map, this game will be your jam. Graphically, it's 2.5D, and it hits a good sweet spot. Everything feels alive, the walls pulse slightly, which is a bit disconcerting. The cultists twitch when idle, and the lighting engine does a lot of heavy lifting to make it all feel very oppressive and otherworldly. The colour palette is a blend of sickly greens, void blacks, and blood reds. You don't just see the corruption spread, you feel it. And the voice acting and audio design surprisingly good for the demo. Chanting echoes down long corridors, monsters growl and gurgle with unsettling fidelity. One of the cultist voice lines literally made me laugh out loud. Now let's keep it real, this is a demo, and when it's solid, a couple of things need polish. The pathing can be sometimes a little bit messy during the bigger brawls. Tooltips occasionally bugged out on deeper rooms. The tutorial hints are really clear, but a glossary or reference guide would be really helpful. I had no idea what unspeakable residue did until it exploded on me. Minor balancing issues would also be appreciated. Some monsters felt very underwhelming compared to how much it cost to summon them. But that being said, none of it's game breaking. The core loop is pretty strong and it overrides any jankiness, and like I said, this is a demo. Cthulhu Keeper is shaping up to be a really good dungeon builder with cosmic horror twist that actually adds to the gameplay rather than just being a reskin. It's smart, stylish, strategy rich, and lets you descend into the madness. If you like games like Dungeon Keeper, Oxygen Not Included, or anything with that slow burn management pressure, and you want that with a side of unknowable horror, this game is worth wishlisting. So what would I rate it? I think I'd give this a 7 out of 10. Once again, this is a rating for the demo. I played the game for 2.5 hours, got quite a lot out of it, but the potential for this is really, really strong. So, I'd give it a go. And that's it for today's DLC into Cthulhu Keeper. Huge thanks again to Game Press and Kusema for letting me try out the demo early. You guys really did help me unlock my inner cultist. The game comes out on Steam in the near future, but we don't have a release date yet. And if you like this review, let us know in our Discord. Tell us what games you'd like to see DLC on. We're also thinking that we might expand DLC into subjects, so if you have any subjects that you'd like us to deep dive into, please just reach out there. And I hope you have a great day.
They know madness. I felt it coil in the silent halls of the void. I watched it seep into the damned stones of the temple, and shuddered at the whispers from unseen tongues. Reason fractures here. Neatly stitched minds unravel like rotted lace, unspooling into dread. Lost truths shift and stir, eager to devour the veil of the cosmic darkness. The chasm yawns wider. Will you feed it more, or cower beneath its gaze? They call to you now.